So while everything's been going on with my truck, I've been borrowing my friend, who's also my neighbor's truck, and you know, it's not that old. I mean, it's what, '08, I think. Yeah. It says '03, '07, so it's either an '06, '07, or '08 model. It doesn't matter. I don't care. So, problem with the dang thing has been this looks like a horrible mess, but it's really not. I got more tools here, just trying to find the right tool to fit the sockets. So anyways, I'm not going to show you how to remove the airbag or any of that stuff like that. I mean, take the battery cable off, turn the headlights on, go pull the third fuse from the right on the first row, little guys underneath there. It should be a red 10. No, it's a fourth fuse. Or fourth row up from the bottom, third fuse from the right when looking at the driver's side. Right above, right in between that yellow and that beige right there. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to talk about this because, oh yeah, you got blue, red, and the next one's red. So that empty spot right there is a 10 amp for the airbag system. And then, you leave about 20 minutes. If you don't want to wait and you're impatient, then go ahead and short the battery cables out to each other, and that'll drain everything and maybe blow a computer. So I'm not going to talk about it. Get the 8mm out, pull the airbag, undo the disconnects for the wires. Okay. And so what I wanted to do was, none of these controls work. Not the cruise control, not the environment. Now I understand the stereo won't work because it's aftermarket. That was the first thing I thought is, somebody put in a fucking aftermarket stereo, hacked everything up. Okay, well, before I get into tearing apart the dash, which I don't want to do, and end up not having to, is I just want to check out and see whether or not I got continuity from any of these pins right here, going through, coming out, where those pins go on the bottom, right back there. Those guys. And you know what? I didn't. So I went ahead and grabbed the diagram online, and I heard one of the few things that make me cringe with being a repair person. One of those is dial cord. If you ever work on radios, vintage radios, you know what dial cords are and how they just suck the fucking life out of you. The second one is Clockspring. Goes along with vintage equipment, and get them old gramophones and even some ones from the 70s. They still had crank up record players that were portable. Some of them have like a half-hour runtime on them. They say use a puller, but you know what? I've taken off too many flywheels and steering wheels in my 40 some odd years on this damn planet, and there ain't no problem with putting your knees right back behind the wheel, getting a stud in there. You back your bolt off. This is a T50. I had T45 with some tape. So you back that off, you crack that loose, and then you just leave that in there, and you put whatever, and then you use your little helper, and you whack that sucker while pulling on the steering wheel, and eventually, with 2-3 whacks, generally is about all you need, steering wheel comes off. So you pull that sucker off, and then they got this thing called the Clockspring. And I hadn't even looked at the diagram of that yet, but I'm thinking, okay, well, Clocksprings, I know about that. They should spin so far and then stop. I've already dismantled this, so it's falling apart because of that. But you should be able to spin it, and it should stop at a certain point, right? I mean, that's what Clocksprings do. Well, sure, they do, if they're not already broken. So, what we have here, take that out, take this guy off. There's so many different screws you got to take off to get into all this crap. And then you pull this sucker out, and you end up with way more than you wanted. So, that is the joy right there. That's the joy. And Where'd the other part go? Hold on, just a moment. I'm back. I didn't have this little clip in place, so everything just kind of fell apart. Didn't expect that, but there are these 4 little brass rivets here in these 4 corners holding this together, and I just lightly drilled and then punched them out. And when I opened it up, well, you saw what I saw, which is, well, we got broken strands on the end of the wire, and then on this portion right here, which this is facing the back that way, and it's going through the other part, so that's facing out, and there's the pins. They just kind of in through there, and oh shit, look at that. Well, hey, look at that. Well, I'll be damned. That just looks like a simple repair to me. Doesn't that look like a nice little simple repair to you? I think so. So let me go ahead and get this cleaned up and get the grease removed, because it is lubricated. It's disgusting. And I'll go ahead and start that cleanup and separation and make sure everything's all lined up right, and see if I can't give her still something in return for helping me and Pops out while we're going through this rough patch. Well, it sure does look freaking horrid, don't it? Clockspring. It brings terror into the heart of everybody who hears that name. Clockspring. I wonder if this is double-sided? No, it's not. It just looks like single. It's not like it's a split. Is it? Is it? Really hard to do with one hand. Let me get inside the house. Well, there's some air conditioning and my beer, and I'll take a closer look at this. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the repair and solder it up, and if anything wonky I find in the process, I will let you know. But I don't expect anything extraordinary other than just some regular old damage. I try and find my epoxy and get this epoxied in. Yeah, I don't know. Focus, you fuck. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's all just single strand. It's not split in two. I don't know. I have to double check, get a razor blade in there, see if those separate it all into 2 layers. Because there might be a 3rd layer of membrane sandwiched in between. So it would be membrane, wires, membrane, wires, membrane. And I just really can't tell with one hand. I really gotta pick at that. So let me go figure this out, do the repair, and we will get it tested up, see what happens. So I did find something I'm gonna have to check into a little bit more, but it was double crimped. Well, not double crimped, it's supposed to go this direction right here, but it had been folded over and folded over again, so there was like a little S shape there, which is not good for the wires. And I can see right there where we have a bend line, but I'm not seeing any cracks. That right there, I'm going to have to do a continuity test on this whole strip now, just to make sure that none of these lines are broken. So let's get started on that now, I suppose. So And this right here does not have some healthy looking traces. It looks like it has shorted out a few times and started to burn those out. So I'm going to get this piece off. Oh yeah, and look at that as well. So that's damaged through at least that one, maybe two. But I'm going to get this heated up and see. Well, I'm just going to have to reflow all these traces, and then yeah. This will be joyous. But it is not double layer. I did take a look at that. I started peeling back the other piece, the other end, and it's just single layer, so that's cool. Yep, let me get this piece off of here and then get the other one trimmed off and start putting that on, and we'll be back. Of course, I got to figure out my orientation, put it all back together, find out which way it's supposed to be, and then if I can find the wiring diagram for this, then maybe I can verify. I don't have it 180 out, but I'm pretty confident I'll get it right. Let's go and blow a fuse again. Not work. Well, I don't know what the hell they coated that with. I don't know if it's just none of it's cleaning off, so I am going to hit that with a razor knife and then give it some heat. Focus, you fuck. And see what I can do about getting that cleaned up and off of there. There wasn't much glue holding on all that, but whatever this grease and coating is on everything, man, that is some messing up the tip of your iron shit right there, I'll tell you what. Well, if you're curious about how long that took, I ain't going to tell you. One, because it was too long. Two, you can find out for yourself. Big issue, man. They got so much crap coated on them traces. I mean, I was taking heat, I was taking razor knives, I was taking emery boards, and just to get that cleaned off. And that doesn't include cutting that off, stripping it apart. Yep, I can verify it's just a single side, or just those few strands. But, man, that stuff likes to move, it likes to bend. Now, let's see, let's get that cleaned off a little bit. I'm going to try and get those lined up and tack them on. We'll see how that goes. See if that solder even sticks. Because it would just be stupid not to have both ends broken, so I got this one all set up and fluxed, ready to go. That end is the one I just repaired, and I only had fan control up, temperature up and down, no horn, no cruise. So I said, why wouldn't the other end be busted? And it was. That much of it was on a break on the bend. But there, that much. So about what, 1 3/4. So it wasn't even at the very end where it connected. It was, yeah. Let me try and get this soldered on. It's 7 o'clock now. I think I started this at 4, and I'm getting tired. Well, let's see if those held. Gotta hope so, because that was really easy. Check and see how we did, huh? Take 2. Alright, so we've got temp. There's temp plus. There's temp minus. There's fan plus. There's fan minus. And cruise control. Let's try that. We got cruise. Okay. Hitting the on-off button does nothing. Well, maybe I'm going too slow. Hold on, let me put this on pause. Alright, let's see what happens. Fucking goddamn light. Let's give that another try. Hey! Look at that, cruise control. The on-off doesn't seem to be working. Well, no, there's the on-off. If I hit the on side, it doesn't do nothing, but when I hit the set, there it goes. Look at that, cruise control. I forget there's two sides to these buttons. Yeah, boy. Cruise control. Controlling the temperature.